I'm Jeremy from campingcanucks.com, and today I'm here to talk a little bit about the 10 essentials. These are the items that are considered the bare minimum that every person who goes into the backcountry should be carrying with them, regardless of whether they're going out in the summer or in the winter. The list is flexible. There are obviously the 10 items that everybody would consider essential, but in addition to that, there are seasonal items that you might want to take along for extra cold, or if you're in a particularly dry environment, or that sort of thing there. So for the next little bit, I'm just going to go over what these items are and just show what I carry, and as well as some of the optional items I'll bring along sometimes, depending on what kind of trip I expect. First item I'm going to talk about today is navigation. Traditionally, navigation was known as the map and the compass, because 25 or so years ago, that was all that was available to you. Maps are pretty easy to come by. These are a couple of commercial ones that I purchased over the years, and these days it's pretty easy to get on the internet and download all manner of high quality topo maps from a variety of sources. Natural Resources Canada has a lot of good maps, and again, they're all free, so if you got a printer, you can print your own maps. Compasses are pretty simple affairs in a lot of cases. This is a basic one. It doesn't have a flip up for sighting along a line to get to your navigation points, but it will get you around with a little bit of practice and a little bit of playing around. You'll find that it's actually not too bad to navigate with a compass. The second thing I prefer myself is a GPS unit. These days, they're readily available again. This is a very durable unit. I've had it in all manner of conditions, all manner of temperatures, and it's managed to hold up quite nicely. It's probably a good idea to have a waterproof one, because a lot of times you will in fact carry it on your pack and it might be getting rained on. You can also use apps that come on your phones, a variety of phones, but that generally tends to be more battery draining, so you have to be careful if you're trying to use your phone as your sole navigation device. Number 2 on the list of 10 essentials is sun protection. Sun protection includes sunscreen, sunglasses, hats, and clothing. Clothing is an important factor. For example, in the summer when we're canoeing, a lot of times we'll wear long sleeve shirts and long pants just to avoid getting burnt from the glare. And that even applies in the winter or on a warm spring day if you're walking in the snow. Sunscreen, obviously you want to have it, especially on your face. You want to have lip balm as well. Your lips aren't fun if they get sunburnt, and that can happen, and a lot of people don't realize it. And of course, a good hat. Typically I'll wear a cap, but I do actually have a large floppy brim hat I like to wear when I'm canoeing and that sort of thing. Insulation is number 3 on the list of the 10 essentials. Insulation is merely extra clothing, or perhaps even as simple as a rain jacket, depending on the time of year that you're going to go out. In most cases, we will carry a rain jacket. Even in the warm, drier summer months, it's never a bad bet to have along. At the least, it provides an extra insulation layer, so it kind of keeps you extra warm. Obviously, in the shoulder seasons, you might want to pack along a little bit heavier clothing, and sometimes in the winter, you may even want to consider bringing a complete change of clothing, depending how busy and active that you're going to be. Number 4 on the list of essential items is illumination. Illumination comes in all forms. I like headlamps. They're generally small, they're bright, and they get excellent battery life. I will always throw one in, actually even on day trips. I'll just shove it in a little pocket in my pack so I have it. It's not fun being stuck in the forest after dark and you don't have a light source, particularly if you're trying to navigate through that forest after dark without a light source. Trails do help, but there are always obstacles. There's branches. Obviously, sometimes they're at head level, you walk right into them without seeing them. There's roots, there's sticks, there can be muddy spots you're going to slip on. So illumination is a very important thing to have. Headlamps should also be waterproof. This way you can wear them if it's raining. It's easy just to strap it on top of your hat, and you're not going to have to worry about the headlamp going south on you because it gets water damaged. Number 5 on the list is the first aid kit. This is easily available at any outdoor store commercial package that we purchased. It is pretty easy to make your own first aid kit. Just get on the internet and do a quick search, and you can usually find the essentials that you need to bring along. It's a good idea to make sure your first aid kit is in a waterproof bag so that you get immersed, everything that survives in case you need it. As well, it's important that you put any medications that you might need. If you have a heart condition or allergies or anything like that, you should be sure to include it in your kit. One of the things that's really important, and this probably applies for most everywhere, is some sort of tick removal, a pair of pliers or a special tick removal tool or something to that effect. Also, every first aid kit should include a pen or pencil and a piece of paper. There's a number of reasons for this, and among those is if there is an injury, it's best practice to make sure you write down everything that happened, any symptoms, any medication a person took, and that sort of thing. Fire is number 6 on our list. Fire is pretty obvious. What you need to bring with you is a way of starting a fire. There might be people out there who can take a stick or maybe a couple rocks and get a flame going, but personally, I'm not one of them. So I carry waterproof matches and or a lighter, and just because I happen to have it from somewhere, I have one of those little sparker things in case all else fails. Another thing I find important, and I've taken to do these days, is just carrying a pack of the chemical fire starter. This stuff will start in almost any condition, and with a little bit of shavings from a knife onto a pile of dry tinder, you can get a fire going relatively easily. Lastly, these things will burn for several minutes on their own, so if you just need a quick fire source for some reason, you can actually just light the whole cube up. I don't remember how long it'll burn. It's approximately 10 minutes, so if you're carrying a few of them, you can get a little bit of burn time out of it there. Coming in at number 7 are repair kits and tools. This is a basic repair kit. There's not much to it. It's a couple pieces of tenacious tape. I've used it to patch jackets. It's good for fixing holes in tents. I have fixed my inflatable pad that I sleep on with this sort of tape. It has all manner of uses, and I guess you could use it as a Band-Aid if you really had to. I wouldn't want to have to tear it off, mind you, but it would work. And of course, the multi-tool. This is a basic Gerber. It's got pliers, it's got scissors, it's got a knife. It's got pretty well everything you're going to need just to do a simple repair. If you've got to fix a zipper or a ski binding or a snowshoe or anything else like that. Your repair kit should also include items that might be specific to your sport. In my case, being a snowshoer, I actually bought a snowshoe repair kit, which comes with some extra straps and various little attachments. So if I have a strap blowout somewhere on the trail, I can fix it right then and there. The next 2 items on our list are nutrition and hydration. Pretty self-explanatory. Generally, if you're going to be out in the backcountry, you're probably going to be bringing some food. And the idea behind nutrition is just to carry a little bit of extra. It doesn't have to be necessarily full-on meals, but things like protein bars and energy bars, or in my case, I really like Landjager and those little sausage sticks. They're nice to have. You can shove a couple of them in your pack and you've got a little extra food. That way, if you're extra hungry, you've got it, or if you happen to have to spend a night outside, you've got a little something to munch on while you're sitting around. Secondly is hydration. Most of us now carry hydration packs in one sort or another. These quite easily slip into your pack, and most packs will have some sort of a hydration sleeve and a way to feed the valve out so you don't have to go digging in your pack to get to your water. With hydration as well, on some trips, particularly in the summer when it's really hot around here, I'll usually throw an extra liter in just to have it along, because in the Canucks area in particular, we don't have a lot of water sources in some spots to stop and fill your stuff up. And on the subject of hydration, I usually will throw in some treatment tablets or treatment liquids, because some of the water sources are not necessarily good, and to avoid getting sick, if I have to, in a pinch, fill my hydration up, I'll usually want to treat it. The last item on the 10 essentials is emergency shelter. Emergency shelter comes in all forms. The simplest of being is just merely an emergency blanket, something that you can wrap around yourself if you do have an emergency. It'll keep you dry, hopefully it'll keep you a little bit warmer and help keep you from being exposed to the elements. Secondly, emergency cover can just be as simple as a plastic bag. Black plastic bag, orange plastic bag, and so on. Just cut a couple holes out, throw it over yourself, and you got yourself some cover. In the winter, I generally tend to also carry a tarp with me. This is a basic sill tarp, scout tarp made of nylon. Weighs less than a pound and it compresses down quite well, and I'll usually just throw it in. So if we have an emergency in the snow, you got something that's a little bit more robust to wrap a person up with. And that wraps up the top 10, what are considered the 10 essentials that you should always carry with you. The list by no means is complete, because there are a number of items that you might want to bring at any other time for a variety of other reasons. Probably first and foremost, your cell phone. Now, a lot of times you might think, why would I want a cell phone in the backcountry? Well, there's 2 main reasons I can think of. One, it's a fallback navigation device. There's plenty of free maps you can download and put onto your device, and if all else fails, you can pull your phone out, fire it up, and figure out where you are in a position. Secondly, and this advice comes from Parks Canada, they note quite often people go into the backcountry, have an emergency, and could have made a phone call but didn't bring their phone with them. Particularly with climbers that are close to highways, or if you're near a peak, sometimes you can get up on the top and you can have enough of a signal to call 911 or make a phone call. Further, to expand on the option of communications, personal locator beacons are fairly popular, or getting fairly popular these days. These are small devices you can push that work on the same frequency as search and rescue. I do believe, I'm not exactly an expert in these, in that they can be immediately identified and allow search and rescue personnel to get to you quicker. Myself, I don't have a PLB at this time, but I do have a spot device. This is a simple one-way messenger that I can use either to send a text message to a person of my choice, or it does in fact have an emergency button where I can push. It will then contact the appropriate 911 and search and rescue groups who can hopefully get to me. Related to that is a signaling device. A signaling device these days is generally something simple like a mirror, so that you can reflect it, turn it, try to catch some light. So if you do see a helicopter flying by looking for you and you're down in the forest below, you can hopefully get their attention. So regardless of what items you put in your pack, whether you have 10 essentials or 20 essentials or 30 essentials, if that's what it takes, knowledge and knowing how to use everything you have with you is a very important aspect. Earlier on, I did talk about the map and the compass. Well, the map and the compass are only really helpful if you actually know how to use them together. The same goes for the GPS. Just turning it on and looking at a map doesn't necessarily tell you where you need to know. Secondly, you need to know what that map means. If those are lines, contour lines in the map, how do you interpret that? How do you find a stream? How do you identify a peak, and so on? And it goes further than that. Even with the first aid, you should probably know the fundamentals, at least addressing a wound or making somebody comfortable. In our groups, a lot of times we have 2 people who have first aid training just to play it safe, so that if somebody gets injured, there's always at least one person on hand, hopefully, to help treat you for that injury. So what I've covered here in the 10 Essentials today is all information that's easily found on the internet. There are a number of websites. There's a lot of backcountry sites and sporting goods sites that will tell you what you should have, and as well as offer other suggestions for what you may want to bring along. In addition to that, local search and rescue and Parks Canada will often have information, and they're good at identifying things that people may not think of in the first place. And that wraps up today's talk about the 10 Essentials. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Please also be sure to check out our website at campingcanucks.com and to check out our social sites at facebook.com/campingcanucks and our Twitter at campingcanucks.com. Thank you very much.